Hey, key update for everybody on the MCP bandwagon. So, I was trying to figure out the best way to build, and I came across Docker. And Docker Desktop already has a whole MCP toolkit that allows you to add a bunch of other MCPs that have already been created for different apps. Basically, one click. The thing is, once you actually have to add the code to the Claude file, if you're not in programming, that can be difficult. And if you are, you're probably doing it the wrong way. This is the code you got to add to the Claude file. And it's going to tell you to manually place this code, but then it misses all the context of all the options that the documentation has. So if you just take all content, get cursor open, and then go to the actual Claude file, and you'll see the desktop config file in there. And then you can just drop the server integration instruction and just say, hey, hook this tool up with this file. And what I did was I created labels for each of the tools that I'm creating, and then you can see them easily underneath this section. So when I restart it, all these labels will be updated with proper names. And yeah, so this kind of wipes out the need to figure out what to do with an MCP server, and I'm just so surprised about all the people overcomplicating this. I knew it was easy, just needed to keep it easy. As far as building new MCPs, the Docker MCP is pretty much like a full-on Docker admin, right? So what I did was I took one of these tools here, right? And it has like all these instructions about how to set all this stuff up. And maybe I don't know if that's what I want to do or not, right? So let me go back to projects, go to MCPs, and we have go high level. We have Google Ads, right? So I have this whole scaffold of the Google Ad system, right? It's like, well, can you combine and build this all in Docker using the Docker tools you have attached? And what it'll do is it'll create another MCP directly in Docker from Claude that you can then turn around and add it directly back into Claude again. So you can pretty much, to your heart's content, detail out everything you want the MCP to do, and then it'll literally build it in Docker for you to launch and bring back into Claude. There's no other website that you have to go to. There's no other place or thing that you have to do. And just a quick rundown of how that works again is you have cursor modifying Claude's desktop config file in the easiest possible way, right? And I'll set that up right now, like for another tool that we don't have set up yet. So the next one we're on was, I believe, GitHub official. It has the ability to do all these GitHub tools, right? I use this specifically looking up tools that I could use to help me with my vibe coding projects, like open source or GitHub stuff that I can grab content from. So I want to add this tool. Add this tool next. And I just copy and paste all that content from Docker. And then it's going to start updating the file with this. Well, that's the thing I just added. And let's see if it's gonna finish building. So yeah, that's pretty much it. As far as like what tools you can add with this, there's a ton of tools. There's Notion, there's Stripe, Puppeteer, got archived, I guess. But I still need to get some of the authentication and tokens and stuff set up for some of these other apps. But combined with Claude 4 and this MCP with Docker, oh, here you go. Here's the added code right here, right? You can pretty much rapidly get access to different MCP tools, and the ones that are missing, you can now build the cursor, Claude, and Docker Those three tools: Cursor, Claude, and Docker. This even has a Slack MCP. Unfortunately, it looks archived. I'm not sure why. It looks like we're only getting channels and getting users, so this MCP is whack. So the next piece of this is, okay, so let's say we use this MCP, right? We could tell Docker, clone this MCP and build out the rest of the API endpoints. So anytime you get an MCP missing API endpoints, all you got to do is let it bring it in, bring it over. I hope this tears down the wall for a lot of people and gets people jumping out about these builds, because I feel like a lot of people are stuck at some of the stuff that I'm stuck on. It's like, why has it got to be so complicated? Why, when you talk to somebody who knows how to do this, their first inclination is to spin up a cloud server and to do all this extra stuff, and like, how we're going to do credentials, and there's nobody really saying, this is the easiest possible way you could do this. So highly recommend you guys give it a shot. Please let me know what you come up with. Definitely want to get some feedback.